What's up, guys? My name is Mason. So glad you guys are checking this out online. This series we're in is called Focus, and the theme is faith. Faith is believing in what you can't see because of what you can see. This week, we're in the story of Paul when he gets shipwrecked. But for right now, grab your friends, your family, your cats, dogs, lizards, and join us for some worship.
I close my eyes and colors fly. There's no hiding from your grace. I can't deny your heart for mine, and it's unrelenting chase. I was on the edge of deception, caught up in my own hesitation, until your love took over me. So I let go and I let love show me life like it's supposed to be. On a oasis, here awaits us all the freedom I ever need. Now I'm alive. When I let go and I fall out.
guys, wasn't worship so awesome? Have you guys ever had a bad trip? Something that just went so bad, you could maybe call it downright disastrous? For me, I've had a story like that just, it was not good. So me and some of my buddies, my best friends around your guys' age, like preteen age, we're going up to this camp, right? And so we all were about to go on this charter bus. So me and my friends were on this charter bus. And so each charter bus can hold about 60 people, and so there's 3 charter buses. So me and my best friend were planning on, like, we're going to sit together, we're going to do so much fun stuff, like, we're going to have such a good time on this bus trip. It's not going to be boring. But here's the thing. Me and my best friend, we didn't get on the bus at the same time. We got near the end. And so we just didn't know what to do because we couldn't sit next to each other. So we had to sit next to 2 random people. And so we were so bummed. We're like, oh, this is going to be such a bad trip. We're not going to have fun. This is going to be a bad trip. So then, to make matters worse, we were just driving along, we weren't driving, but we were in the back. And so the bus is going straight, and then all of a sudden we start veering to the side. And we just start feeling really bumpy, and we're like, what's going on? Why is it so bumpy? And we pull off to the side of the road, and we're stopped. And like all the kids were freaking out, like, what is happening? Like, why are we stopped? And so the bus driver announced that we have a flat tire. And so we have a flat tire, and we're like, what do we do? Like, we don't know what to do. We're kids. And so what we do is we originally go outside of the bus, and it's over the summer, right? So it's super hot. It's like 120 degrees. And so we're like, what is happening? Like, this is crazy. This is going so bad. So that was probably one of the worst beginnings of a trip I've ever had. And now I want you guys to think of a time where you've had a horrible trip. So now that you're thinking of your trip, what was your response during this time? What did you think about? What was your attitude during this time? What were you thinking about? Now, I want to tell you a story about this guy named Paul, who also had a trip sort of like mine, but much worse. So this week, we're following Paul's journey as he's getting shipwrecked. Now, he and other people were starting to help plant churches. They were helping out, just advising churches. And so just like your trip that you're thinking of and my trip, Paul's trip wasn't smooth. So now Paul wanted to go to the most powerful man in the world, Caesar. So now this is Caesar, this is Paul. And so his voyage starts in Caesarea. So flip open your Bibles to Acts 27:1. So it says, when the time came, we set for Italy. Paul and several other prisoners were placed in the custody of a Roman officer named Julius, a captain of the imperial regiment. So this is Julius. This is the captain of the ship. So the sea was dangerous during this time. It was not like calm, like calm, flowy waters. It was like angry. It was mad. So Acts 27:4 says, putting out to sea from there, we encountered strong headwinds that made it difficult to keep the ship on course. So we sailed north of Cyprus between the island and the mainland. So the wind was starting to push against Paul's boat. Like he was just getting pushed back and back and back. And so this was near Cyprus during the time. So in Acts 27:7-8, it says, and after great difficulty, we finally neared Cnidus, but the wind was against us. So we sailed across to Crete and along the sheltered coast of the island, past the Cape of Salmon. We struggled along the coast with great difficulty and finally arrived at Fair Havens near the town of Lasea. So during this time, the wind was in full control of the ship. The ship was not in control at all. It was all the wind. So he was just getting blown around by the wind, the boat, just all over the place. Kind of like the bus that I was in during the time. In Acts 27:14, it says, but the weather changed abruptly, and a wind of typhoon strength burst across the island and blew us out to sea. So once they were near the town of Lasea, they were burst out with typhoon strength. And so they were back out at sea. And so this wind was immense. Like it was going all over the place. It was not fun. I would not want to be around there. In Acts 27:20, it says, the terrible storm raged for many days, blotting out the sun and the stars, until last all hope was gone. So now for me, in Arizona, that has never happened to me before. I've always seen the sun. I've actually like, go away, sun, please, come on. But this is the opposite for Paul. There was no sun. There was just rain and storms all around. And so the angel appeared before Paul during this dream that he had. And it was saying that, it's okay, Paul, you're going to be okay. You will make it to Rome eventually. Just trust in the Lord. And so in Acts 27:42-43, it says, the soldiers wanted to kill the prisoners to make sure they didn't swim ashore and escape. But the commanding officer wanted to spare Paul, so he didn't let them carry out their plan. Then he ordered all who could swim to jump overboard and first make for land. So Paul, he escaped the ship, basically, and Julius, this is Julius, he let Paul survive. He was the commanding officer during the time. He let Paul and whoever could swim escape. So he started to have a decent relationship with Julius. He learned different stuff about him. So during this time, you can see that God is clearly working in and through Paul, in and through this mess. So finally, Paul made it to Malta. He finally made it to Malta. He didn't want to go there, but that's where he was. So during Malta, Paul met this chief officer. So now this chief officer, he was saying how his father was sick, that he was not doing well. And so Paul came over and healed his father. He prayed over him and finally healed him. So after that, Paul went to Rome. He finally made it to Rome. But during this time, he was under house arrest. He was under house arrest until he could have his trial with Caesar that he was looking for this whole time. Now, if you don't know what house arrest during this time, house arrest is where you're under 24-hour watch by another guard. You're literally chained to them. You have one other person that's on you. So you're basically with each other the whole time. So every 8 hours, the guard would shift. So Paul would always be around another officer. So even though he was still under house arrest, he continued to spread the gospel. Lots of people actually heard the story of the gospel because Paul was spreading it to the guards, and the guards started spreading it to other people. The guards started believing in what he had to say, and he was spreading the good news to other people, which is crazy to think about, that even someone you're chained to, you can still have an impact on. So Paul still went through rough times, even though he was doing God's work. In the Bible, it doesn't say that we're going to go through nice, easy things. It says we're going to go through hard times, but that's okay, because it says that we will not be alone, for God is with us. He will be with us through all the hard times. See, instead of taking us out of the bad situations, God stays with us through those bad situations to make us better, for us to learn and do new things. So all these things, Paul had an opportunity that he would not have had before, just because he had a new perspective on it. For example, he met Julius. He survived and had this new person that he could talk to. He also, then when he went to Malta, he survived, and he met the chief official's father and prayed and healed for him. Now, he also, when he was under house arrest, wrote the book of Romans. He wrote the letter to Rome, and he also affected the lives of many guards and all the people that the guards affected. So God changed Paul's perspective from Paul being chained to the guards being chained to him, that he would make an impact on them, not them make an impact on him. You see, through these hard times, Jesus is with us, and that we can have hope in, that we will make it through those hard times all right. See, whether it's a hard math test or sports or something like that, or even COVID-19, we can make it through because we have faith that God is with us the whole time and that we can make it through all right. You see, with the bus story, I wasn't fully done. We actually had another bus come pick us up, and we made it to the camp all right. Me and my friend actually had one of the best times we ever had with each other over that summer. We had many new experiences that we would not have had before. For example, we went rock climbing. We learned about Jesus. It was such a good time, I would not trade it for anything. I would have gone on another bus that got a flat tire to do that same trip again. See, sometimes we just need to go through these bad situations to go through the good situations in the end, that God is with us through the whole time. So right now, I want you to think about, when have you seen something good come out of the bad? So this month's memory verse is Ephesians 2:8, which says, God saved you by his grace when you believed, and you can't take credit for this. It is a gift from God. So next week, we're wrapping up this series, and we want you to be a part of this next week. So record yourself saying this first, post it to Facebook or Instagram, and tag Rockpoint Kids AZ to be entered. All right, guys, I'd just like to close in prayer. So, dear Lord, thank you for this day. Thank you for the opportunity to come here and preach to these awesome preteeners. And thank you for Paul and showing us that we can go through these tough times and that you're with us through this whole time. Say these things in your name. Amen. All right, guys, see you next week.